What's up, guys? Energy here. I'm not even going to discuss my upload schedule. It's been so erratic. But I would like to say that in the future going forward, I have a list of relatively what I consider high quality videos that I'm going to try to put out to you guys. I've got a whole list of them, so I'll try to get some more out in the next coming weeks. I think I have some good content to produce. Today we will be discussing Ronald Acuna Jr., who at one time was an obsession within the baseball card hobby, and to a degree he still is, but he's not at that peak level he still was in the sports card world. But I don't necessarily know if the reasons for that um, are really valid, and I think that could be a great buying opportunity at his current prices. So Acuna was pretty much the best young player, 25 and under, I guess you could call it, of all of 2019. Um, and that was pretty much widely accepted. I mean, you can debate it or whatever, but that was kind of what was that was kind of what the expectation was throughout the baseball card hobby. This man was just a beast. And then coming into and he was what, 3 stolen bases short of 44 a season. So he played really well in 2019. Besides Trout, he was probably the best player in baseball. Well, that's a whole other debate for a different time. And then this season, the shortened season, Tatis and Soto broke out, which kind of pushed him, to the background. And then he got injured, so he didn't play all the games and everything. And when he came back, it was like the middle of August, and at that time the market was cooling off. And even though he was hitting 495-foot home runs after he came back and was still an absolute beast, the market was relatively cooled off from its peak, so he didn't get that kind of like trendy boost that we see in a lot of players. Um, and Acuna is trendy. He kind of just walks around, and you're like, that dude is cool. Like he just had this I don't know how to describe it, but other than he's just cool. I don't know. He's kind of like an icon or an idol, I guess, in the baseball world. Kind of like the face of the game. You know, he's only 22 years old. That's pretty crazy. Um, and so I'm gonna go over some of his some stats, and then I'm also going to talk uh, about some of his cards and kind of the options we have for buying, and kind of my reasons for why I think he's a good buy. So if we take a look at Acuna's 2019 stats, he obviously was a beast with a 5.6 WAR according to Fangraphs, and then in 2020 he had a 2.4 WAR through only 46 games. And if you multiply this to 150 games or so, it's like 7.5 WAR, which is just absolutely stunning. Obviously, this is a small sample size, so take from it what you will. But his strikeout rates increased, his walk rates jumped, crazy number. And there's a really good article about this. Ronald Acuna Perpetually Green Lip by Ben Clemens. This is a really good article. I'll link it in the description. Kind of talks about the changes he made in his approach to the plate. Now that really helped him become a better all-around hitter. His WRC plus was 159, obviously very good. His WOBA increased from last year. Pretty much everything increased besides average and batting average and balls in play for all the meaningful stats here. So he improved. He showed that he's a beast. He's still cool, and he just got hot at not a great time for the sports card hobby, and his prices didn't really move that much. Um, uh, and then talk. Oh, I didn't pull this grab up, but Juan Soto. Actually, can I do it real quick? I'll just go to card ladder. Um, let's look at Juan Soto in terms of buying option. I'm gonna kind of compare Soto and Acuna because they have the same key rookie card, the same year and everything. It's relatively easy to compare them. This Soto peaked up. I think don't quote me on this. I don't have numbers on this because Card Ladder, my free version of Card Ladder, does not go back farther enough. But I think this PSA 9 peaked at like 125, 130, 120, something like that. But don't quote me on that. I'd have to do more research on that to be sure. Um, and Acuna's right now is like 40 to 50 bucks. I actually just bought one. 2018 update Acuna PSA 9. Just tops update, not Chrome, for 42.50 shipped and taxed. And I will look to sell that with around the 115 mark. I might sell at 110, I might sell at 120. I'm not really sure, but um, I think like if you consider that this card peaked up at 120, let's call it, and Acuna's at 40. I'm talking about purchase price, not total price. Just like the number you see on eBay auction. That means that Acuna's card, this same card of Acuna is down 67% from Soto's peak. I think about what Soto peaked at 120, and Acuna is sitting at 40. That's a 67% decrease. I'm not gonna get a number here, right? Because uh, Acuna didn't have that crazy jump like Soto did. And you can see Soto's actually climbing up significantly in this last area. I wish I'd been able to buy this at 42 or 45 bucks because Soto's a beast as well. But that's another video coming soon. Um, I'm kind of all over the place today, guys. Sorry about that. Uh, where was I going with this? Oh, so he significantly decreased from what I think is a reason. Like we can reasonably expect that if Acuna continues on this path he is and avoiding all injuries, this card of Acuna could very well get up to 120, 130-ish. So I'm almost looking at this as a lens of that 120, 130 is almost guaranteed. And so this $40 mark makes it look like he's at like a giant decrease. That's how I'm kind of seeing this one. Um, and then this is another Fangraphs article here. I'm just gonna pull this up real quick. Acuna is still obviously amazing. He's still rated #1 in most trade value according to Fangraphs, which is a source I trust tremendously. They have the kind of the write up here on the why behind that. And a lot of this has to do with contract, right? Because Trout's probably providing more WAR, but Acuna's contract's good, and that affects stuff. Let's talk about the options we have for buying Acuna. So this is update rookie PSA 10. This card stayed pretty flat. I mean, it was up at 200, 240, not 240, 225, right? 220. Bottomed out here at like 130. That would be a steal. You're buying this in the 130, 150 mark. I really like that card at that price. Because you're already buying it at a discount from what he was at, combined with the discount of what he like didn't really like, combined with the skill discount and the actual discount. It's like a mega discount. It's like Black Friday savings and Cyber Monday savings just combined into one giant saving. Um, and this might have peaked higher than that. I'm not really sure. But this is a good buy. I didn't have the financial means to go spend 150 bucks on this card. That's why I stuck with the 9, which I'm going to show here. So I bought it 40 bucks. I bought like right here. It's pretty much down to it. It's actually down a lot from peaking at 60. So it's down from that too. This is a really good buy, especially for flippers who may not have a crazy high budget. Similar to my current scenario, if you're looking at Chrome, because Northeast Ohio Sports Cards did a really good video on how Soto's Chrome update PSA 10 peaked higher than his um, regular Topps paper in a PSA 10, and it stayed like that mostly because there are a lot of guys coming from basketball and football into baseball and they see the trendy Soto, and so they buy Chrome over paper, even though that's not traditional baseball mindset. It's what these new guys coming to the hobby did. And I think Gary Vee has a good point in that, like the mindsets. We shouldn't be catering to the mindset of the old collectors. No offense to them, but we need to be catering towards the collector, the mindset of the new wave, I guess. I'm not saying I agree with Gary Vee and everything. I think he has one good point about that. I'm actually going to make a Gary Vee video coming up. Not like a collaborating thing, obviously, but it's just some of the things I have about some of my thoughts about his ideas. So Chrome's an option. Chrome's actually a good option. I'm not sure if this is like a valid sale or if because I can't see like what if I'm thinking that maybe you go back a little farther, it just kind of stays at this 120 mark. But maybe it did go to 180, and if that's the case, this looks like a really good buy. Chrome's always a good option. And then you've also got the Chrome 9, which I like too a lot, especially at 25 bucks. Oh, that's a great buy at 25 bucks. It's also an option. Nines are more volatile. I talked about that in my last video about LeBron. Here's the Heritage. I personally don't love the Heritage, because I don't think it's got the popular. I mean, I like this card. I actually really do. I'd buy it raw for like a PC thing if I wanted to buy Acuna. Um, but it just doesn't have that collectability and that attraction that the Topps flagship and the Topps Chrome kind of uh, kind of garner. Here's the 9. I just don't please stay away from the Heritage 9s. This is not going to move that much. I mean, it's going to move obviously a lot right now. It's a volatile card. But overall, I don't think this is a really good buy just because it's too volatile to time right. Um, and I kind of explained this in my LeBron video too. It's hard to price out of the it's hard to price out of the 10, so the 9 stays in a lower bracket. That's kind of hard. That was a bad explanation, but check out my last video for explanation on that. If you guys want to buy a banger, like a potential banger, I would go with this card, the Poor Man's Bat Down, especially at 40 to 50 bucks, especially at 45 bucks purchase price, because everybody loves like Bat Down Acuna is undoubtedly the most iconic Acuna card. I mean, really, Sapphire Bat Down Acuna is the most iconic Acuna card. But this whole bat down look is pretty popular, right? And this is bat down. Yes, it's holiday, but it's also bat down. And I guess the pop's high, but um, relatively high. But I think this card could be like a 120, 140, 150, 160 question mark card. That wouldn't shock me. If this card exploded because it's bat down and it's Acuna, that wouldn't shock me. I didn't purchase this. I went a little bit safer. That's why I went with the flagship and a 9 as opposed to this and a 10. But this could be a real banger. The 9, the same thing as the Heritage 9. I think this is it's too volatile for my likings. I mean, 15 bucks, you're pretty low risk though. It's always an option. Here's the Chrome and a 10. I don't like this. I mean, I don't like this. I don't like the photo. And it's not as popular necessarily as his not that card. This card. Um, This card this is a good buying point though, especially at the $65 mark. I remember this was like 110 a little while back. So yeah, it's a good buy. Uh, if that's what you want. Um, this one, oh, this makes my mouth water. This is like, I wish I had the money to buy this. Peaked at 350, probably peaked higher than that. This is down at 204. I'm gonna do a really quick search. Hold on, let's go back to card later. Let's go. Bowman Chrome. This is a really long video. Where does okay? I'm thinking of this peaked. I thought this peaked higher. I gotta find my original. This my spot. This is a really good buy. Seeing how we're buying this, if you were to buy this today at 200, you're almost buying that at a 50% discount upon like combined with the discount that you're getting from just buying Acuna in general. This card just makes my mouth. This card is just so beautiful, man. I don't know. I would if I had the money, I'd buy this. If I had 200 bucks, this would be it's really 220, 225 after tax and shipping. This will be my go-to easily. This card. If he gets hot, this card will skyrocket. I would not be shocked if this card was like, excuse me, 500 bucks. That would really not surprise me. Um, Here's the bat down. I'm not going to talk about this much because I don't really have the knowledge of the high-end sports card market. I'm not involved in that necessarily as much. Um, but this is an option as well, of course. So in summary, if I had the money, I'd buy this one. If I wanted a potential banger, I'd buy this one. If I wanted to play it safe, which is what I'm doing, I'd buy this one, which I just did. Uh, uh, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll wrap it up for today. This was a really shaky video. It's kind of all over the place. I'll try to be more planned out next time. I shouldn't record late at night. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Look for more videos soon because they'll be coming.